So I think math is going to be so much easier for you guys this week. I think y'all are going to like this a lot more, and it'll be nice to get a break from adding and subtracting 3-digit numbers. So I think we're going to like the pace of how we do things today. So this can be used as a strategy for multiplication, which you'll be doing a lot of in 3rd grade. But we can also use this strategy for just adding as well, but I think it's going to help you guys out immensely, okay? But it's kind of introducing the concept of multiplication, but we're not quite doing it yet. But you'll be wanting to have the strategy. Okay, so we're going to go on and look at our problem, and you guys are going to work through it with me. And then today you'll be doing another one on your own that I sent in the email to moms, dads, grandmas, grandpas for you to try out. But I think y'all are going to do really good with this. Okay, so we're going to go on and read our question first. So there are 4 rows of chairs in the classroom. Each row has 3 chairs. How many chairs are in the classroom? So we're trying to figure out what's the total amount of chairs in the classroom, okay? So I know I'm going to have 4 rows, and each of those rows is going to have 3 chairs, okay? So what I'm going to do is right here, I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, because these right here are going to be my 4 rows, okay? So just number down 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, super simple. Okay, fabulous. Thank you, Bianca, for letting me know you're ready. Thumbs up when you're ready. Thank you, Ariana. Thank you, Shaylee. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Boston. Thank you, Aston. Fabulous. Okay, so then we know that in each of those rows there's going to be 3 chairs. So instead of just drawing a chair, I'm just going to use circles to represent my chairs in each row. So I know in each row there's going to be 3. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. Okay? So give me a thumbs up when you got that part. Ariana's ready, thank you. Bianca's ready. Awesome, fabulous friends. Okay, and I'm going to go on and circle each of those rows off like this so I can keep them separate, okay? I'm not doing it super neat, but I'm trying to. Okay? Okay. So what we call this, friends, we call it an array. Okay? So it's just another way of organizing our numbers so we can count them easier, okay? So this, when you see something like this, we call it an array, okay? I'm going to quiz y'all on that tomorrow and see who was paying attention. Okay? So then, all you got to do is count them up, but instead of counting them individually, we can group them. So we can do 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Okay? Now I want y'all to go on and solve that on your own, because I think that's one y'all could easily do. And then we'll see who gets our answer. Boston thinks he's got it. Fabulous. Ariana thinks she's got it. Danny thinks he's got it. Shaylee's thinking she's got it. Fabulous. Okay. Mr. Boston, since I saw you first, what did you get for your answer, bud?
12.
12. Who agrees with Boston? Give me a thumbs up if you agree with Boston. Oh yeah, I got friends who agree. Fabulous. Yes, it was 12 friends. So the reason we do it this way is because it's a lot easier to count numbers like this together than counting them by themselves. So when you go and do your math today, you're going to have a very, very similar question, and you're going to do this exact thing. That's a whole lot less work than what we were doing before, right? I think y'all would like this one a whole lot more. It's much simpler, And it's going to help you guys when you finally start getting a little bit more into multiplication when you're in 3rd grade, okay? So this is something you're going to need to remember. It's called an array, all right? Easy peasy. Any questions on that? I feel like y'all were going to do good with this one. I think y'all are going to knock it out of the park. It might even be too easy for you guys. Okay, so we're going to go on and hop into reading. So this week in reading, we're still focusing on non-fiction or informational text, okay? So with that, on the reading plans for this week, which Mom and Dad can get y'all this, there was a chart. I'm going to see if I can pull up that chart real quick. I'm going to get that pulled up so you guys can see it, because I want y'all to know what, well, it's not a chart, it's a checklist, actually. I got pulled up from my email from Miss Neal. Okay. Sorry, friends. I thought I already had it pulled up. I think I had it pulled up on my other computer. Come on, computer. Almost there, friends. I'm sorry. There we go. Okay. Oh, nope, that was the wrong one. Here. Here it is. Okay. And with this, we're going to be going back and talking about text features, which is something we practiced a lot when we would read those big books at school. We would talk about text features like subtitles, bolded words. Oh, that's the wrong one. I'm sorry, y'all. Here, maybe I can pull it up here on Word, because I know I have it. Okay, I'm going to try and share my screen with you guys so you can see it, okay? Alright, let's see, share screen. Okay, let me see if I can make it bigger, maybe. There we go. Okay, can y'all see this chart? Okay, so on the reading, tell Mom and Dad, hey, I need that checklist that's on the reading plans on the s'more, okay? Because you're going to want to use this when you're going through and reading your nonfiction book. So when you're reading, what you're going to do is you're going to say, oh, look, this book had a table of contents, okay? I'm going to check that off because I saw it while I was reading, okay? This one, we got bold words. So I'm going to go check off bold-faced words, okay? And then here at the very back of this book, there was a glossary that we can check off, okay? So when you're reading your informational text, you're going to be checking off your text features, okay? Now, if you need a reminder on your text features, there are videos on there to go back and review that with you guys, okay? But I'm not going to touch on that a whole lot just because that's something we've practiced a lot and I feel like you guys should still remember. But if you need to go back and look at some of the videos I posted about text features, you can, okay? So, you're going to read your informational text and check off your text features while you read, okay? So we're not going to finish this whole book, but I want to go through a little bit of it and give you guys an example of how you're going to respond, okay? Let's see. Everything should look back to normal. Okay, so this one is called From Wax to Crown. Okay, so we're going to probably figure out how they make crowns. Okay, now, I don't have a checklist here on my board, but I'm going to write them down. So I said, oh, look, this book has a table of contents. Okay, so right here, I'm just going to write it since I don't have a big old version of that. Table of contents. I'm gonna check by it because I'm like, oh look, I have that. Can someone tell me what does a table of contents tell me? Does anyone remember what that tells me? Jayla Beal?
I think it's information about the book, like what it's about.
That's part of it, but it needs to be a little bit more specific. You're on the right track, though. Does anyone remember what a table of contents tells us? Danny?
Chapters.
Kind of like chapters, okay. So if I said, like, what if I was looking for something specific? What could I do, Danny?
Read the table of contents.
You read your table of contents. So let's say on here, I only wanted to learn about how the wax is shaped. I could just go look here for the page number, okay? So our table of contents just tells us where something is in the book. That's it, okay? So we can find things easier. Okay, so wax melts. Crowns start as clear wax. Wax is made into crowns at a factory. Large tanks heat the wax. The wax melts into a gooey liquid. Okay? So on this page, friends, we have a bold-faced word. So I'm going to go and write that on my list too. Okay? I'm going to lose my lid to my marker. Okay, so I'm going to put bold word. Okay? Go check by it. That's another text feature. Why would they want you to notice that bold word, friends? Why do you think it's bolded? Danny?
Because it's important.
It's a very important word, okay? So we want to make sure that we really know that word. And a lot of times when a word like that's bolded, that means that there's going to be a definition in the back in our glossary. Okay, so that means that's one, important. Two, you can probably find the definition of it in the very back, okay? Fabulous. Go on to the next page. So a worker adds color. Pipes carry the clear wax into many pots called vats. A worker adds colored powder called pigment into the vats. A different color is stirred into each vat. So on this one, we also still have bold words, so I don't need to go and check that again since it's on there. Okay, the wax is shaped. The colored wax is poured into a mold. The mold has many holes. Each hole is shaped like a crown. The wax fills the holes. Okay. Now, I'm not going to finish this whole book just for the sake of time, and this one's kind of lengthy. But I'm also going to put on my list glossary. Because look, those are some of our bolded words that it talked about in the book. Okay, so those are our definitions. So I'm going to write on here glossary. Okay. Now, I didn't have every single text feature mentioned on that checklist in that book. That's okay. When you go and read your own informational books today, you're not going to have one. Or you're not going to have them all. Okay? So I don't expect you to have them all checked off, okay? So now I want to talk a little bit about your response, okay? I'm going to make sure I want you to see the sentence that we're going to use today, okay? So your sentence or your response today is going to be very short, okay? I'm not going to be needing a whole lot from you, all right? Okay, so first thing is you're going to pick one of these text features to focus on, okay? Make sure it's one that you feel really comfortable with knowing about, because if you don't really understand using a table of contents, that's probably not going to be one you're going to want to work with, okay? But you can always go back and watch the videos about text features if you need a refresher, okay? So, on this one, I'm going to focus on the bold words. So, here's how your response is going to go. And y'all follow along, because you can use this to help you do your own later, okay? So, we're going to start with the, okay? And then I'm going to pick my text feature. So, the bold word, I'm even going to give an example. The bold word factory okay? Because that was a specific one in the book that we saw, okay? I'm even going to go back to that page so I can look back at it. So it's always important to go back and look at our stuff, okay? Okay, so I'll go on and copy that down, what I have so far. So the bold word, which is our text feature. Now I'm giving an example. So the bold word factory, okay? Okay, so the bold word factory, okay, helped me understand that. Okay, so the bold word factory helped me understand that. That's where we're at so far. I'll give you a minute. So I'm going to go on and finish the rest of it. So now you're going to give your reason for why was it important to have that bold word in our book, okay? So kind of like what Danny said before, bold words tell you that it's an important word that you need to understand with this book, okay? So that's telling me that factories are an important part of making crowns, okay? So what I'm going to go on and say is, so the bold word factory helped me understand that factories, whoop, uh-oh, my marker's getting yucky. Factories are an important part of making crowns. Because you can't make your crowns. Well, I guess you could probably make them at home. But factories tend to make a lot of them for people. So they're pretty important. And that's kind of the point of the book. Okay? Shaylee's good. Thank you, ma'am. Ariana's good. Friends still writing, y'all are fine. Okay. Now, if I wanted to say, like, the contents, or, whoop, oh my goodness, I'm losing my mind. The table of contents helped me understand that, like, or it helped me understand where I can find important information. Or the glossary, if we were to go to the back, the glossary helped me understand words that I may not have known otherwise, okay? So you have to think, okay, how does this text feature help me, okay? So remember, if you need a review on text features, there was videos on the reading that you can go back and look at, friends. And I'm also going to be reposting this video if you need to look back at it, okay? Do y'all have any questions? I think this week's a lot simpler than what we've been doing. So it's kind of a nice little breather for us. No questions? Okay. If you're still copying down, that's fine. But if you are good to go, then you can head out. Okay. Say it was short and sweet. Bye, Miss Shaylee. Bye, Bianca. Move my head while I go and close this out.